Hey, good evening. Welcome in. It's SEC After Dark. It's the best day of the week, best night of the week. The storm has blown through here in Nashville. My power flickered for a minute, like 7:30. I was nervous that it was going to knock me out, but it flickered on. It flickered off and flickered back on. So I'm here, and that is a good thing. The storm is past. We got the rain we needed, but we are here Thursday night. It's SEC After Dark. Joining me is Stephen Willis from Locked On Ole Miss, Jake Thomas from Bama After Dark, and Tide Talk Live. Jeb Beecham, well, he's just a guy right now, but his podcast is under construction, like the Florida Roads. And we got Mike Huseman from Off Season After Dark, and also a regular contributor on Locked On Vandy and Locked On Ole Miss, as a member of the Locked On Ole Miss Everydayers Club. And joining us is of Biscuits and SEC right at the end of the intros. Couldn't have timed that any perfectly, boss man.
Right on time. I'm prompt, if nothing else.
None other than the boss man himself. So got a lot to talk about, a lot centered around spring practice and all of that. And I got a hypothetical there about why spring games with this transfer portal isn't televised. But we're going to answer that right after this. It's lava time. Just a lava fall. It just gets me every time. So, like I said, SEC After Dark, best night of the week. We got some spring practice stuff. We got some spring games that have already been played. We got some more coming up on deck. And then, Steve, I think y'all are playing in June sometime. So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
But
No spring game at Ole Miss. So, but they put on pads today. They actually practiced in pads. We got a Jonte Cook touchdown pass, according to Ole Miss social media, and it was awesome.
Okay. So they're like doing like one-on-ones and stuff.
Yeah, they're doing the OTAs and just kind of moving forward. And next week they're starting a mock game week. Where basically they're going to do all the practice and not the scrimmage on the weekend, just to make sure that the right people are doing the right things and all of that stuff. So that's what the next couple of weeks are going to be. And no practice access for anybody, even though that I'm going to be in Oxford. I'm not going to get to see any of it.
Okay. Well, you'll get to hang out with the good people.
Is that like a wink type deal, Steven, or is that legit?
I was told today that they didn't have anything scheduled. So
okay.
Yeah. I see nothing.
Wink. Yeah.
Wink. Yeah.
Yeah.
Secret.
But listen, the total amount that people have been able to see this spring at Ole Miss is about as much as an episode of Friends. That's about all the video that they've gotten this spring at this point. It's like 24 minutes.
Okay. So it gives you a great idea of what Trinidad Chambliss is doing at UNLV, but it's going to be great.
So the Arkansas people are very upset about their spring because if you're not in the collective, you have to pay to go to the spring game. $10 only.
They're already not fired up about the team.
They're very upset about that. We don't know if they have clocks in the stadium or not, though.
So nobody will know if they're actually on time.
We don't know.
They love Hunter Yurachek. They loved the hire of Silverfield. Arkansas fans just had a great offseason.
Man.
A great 5 years.
Yeah.
But you know what? Complaining about being charged $10 when you're actively contributing to the NIL potentially is that's kind of a weird look. That's kind of I want something for nothing type look.
Yeah.
Now, it's weird because we're last in the SEC right now. We're trying not to be very long, but we need you to do this. And then it sounds like the Vatican,
like the
from South Park,
or the teacher in Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah. Jake, you may not know that reference, but
I know Charlie Brown.
You might be too young for that one. So you're like 22 years old, aren't you?
Ain't Bossman younger than I am?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, come on now.
I don't get that reference.
I turned 35 Tuesday.
Never heard of Charlie Brown.
Bossman's like, what is this? Y'all used to like actually have to get up to change the channel?
Yeah.
Man, that's what the youngest kid was for.
Hey,
Sitting sitting Indian style, close to the TV, so he can serve as the remote. Change it down. Put it,
I
I
am
don't think you can
20
say
years.
Indian style anymore.
especially on New Year's
Yeah,
Day when there was a college game on every network,
Yeah.
and you had to manually go back and forth unless you
Yeah.
were good enough and rich enough to have multiple 13-inch black and white TVs to bring in for New Year's Day.
And a remote to go with it.
Hey, I am 20
Remote,
years.
remote. What are you? What is this technology? I was the remote.
Futuristic. Yeah. You must have been poor.
I am 20 years from receiving my first AARP mail. So there we go.
Oh.
Jack. 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 I've received AARP mail for 10 years.
Hey,
Well,
yeah. When Wingard's born in 1930, I'm sure you have.
1883
Yeah.
was a biopic.
Yeah.
Of Stephen
Yeah.
1923 was a nostalgia
Yeah.
play for me. It was autobiographical.
Yeah. He even supports Social Security, and he supported it when they first implemented it.
Right. Exactly.
He was on the council for that.
Yeah.
My social security number is 7.
Man, there were 7 people in front of you in line.
Yeah.
You must have got. Did one of your crows die or one of your roosters die? Because
Yeah,
they
remember
wake
there
you
was
up?
no alarm clocks back then.
Yeah, they were called roosters.
Right. Oh, off the
Crow, I
rails
said
early.
crow. Yeah,
Mhm.
we
Really?
are definitely off the rails early.
By the
So,
way, we do have some roosters in our neighborhood that just will randomly go off at 3 p.m.
Yeah, I don't know why people say they crow.
Yeah,
in the
it's like
morning.
their timing is all messed up.
Yeah. It's that Florida weather.
yeah, it is. By the way, to go NHL after dark for a second, the Mighty Ducks completely changed their colors, and I don't like it.
Yeah, the orange.
Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I've not seen this.
They're playing
None of them-
right now.
None of them are Champa Bay, so
Yeah, the Predators, I think, are just sacrificial lambs right now. They're playing in Smashville. Yeah.
hey, is there a rivalry between Nashville and Utah?
Not that I know of.
There should be. It's like the Sabercats on one side and the Woolly Mammoth on the other.
That would be a great natural
It's
rivalry.
like extinct animals
Yeah.
rivalry.
One city's the home of music, the other city doesn't allow music. I don't know.
And their basketball team is the Jazz.
Yeah. Mhm.
The most ironic,
Where
the
they
most
don't.
ironic team name.
Yeah, that was what was that in basketball?
Basketball,
New Orleans, the
Yeah.
New Orleans Jazz
Yes,
moved
where
to
they don't
Utah where
allow
they don't
music.
allow music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Lakers moved to LA where they don't have lakes.
Yeah. Which NBA is supposed to get 2 expansion teams, apparently.
I think the Sonics are coming back.
I do too.
I think Vegas is going to get a team.
Hmm. I was hoping Nashville get one, but
I think they're talking about moving Memphis to Nashville,
yeah.
the Grizzlies. I don't know if I could get behind that though. I just don't like the NBA really.
So my question would be is they had the big thing where LeBron came out and said nobody wants to go to Memphis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was the whole thing. Nobody wants to go there. So Skip Bayless, his whole shtick is going against everything LeBron. Does that mean that Skip Bayless would argue that every player wants to go to Memphis?
That's a
He
good
probably
point.
would if he's against Prince James.
Yeah.
Did you guys see
Princess.
those 2 little kids? Somebody interviewed these 2 like 8 to 10-year-olds after the LeBron stuff came out, and they were asking him like, what do you think about LeBron's comments about Memphis and that they should move the team to Nashville? And these kids have like Grizzlies shirts on. They're diehards, obviously. And this one kid, he just starts going in on LeBron. He's like, that unk just needs to retire. Like, we're sick of that guy. Like, the Grizzlies need to stay in Memphis. He just goes off, and these kids just go back and forth for like a minute, just trashing LeBron. It's hilarious.
Well, my favorite TikTok right now is somebody was doing like a man on the street after the game, and it was after a Jets loss, and there was somebody who was obvious like 13 or 14 years old. And he's like, what do you think? And he's like, I'm obviously miserable right now. This is terrible. I hate this. This is terrible. I was born into this, so I'll never change, but this is basically my life. And it was the saddest yet funniest thing I've ever seen.
Life as a Jets fan. Gotta love that.
He's like, I was born into this. I didn't choose it.
So defeatist. I love it.
Sad.
By the way, I missed this comment from Rick. Wow, an outhouse.
Wow.
Never
Every
used one, but I've seen one.
house, doghouse, penthouse, and outhouse in the area. Anybody know that quote?
I don't
As
think
much as
Tommy Lee Jones, right?
Yes, Tommy Lee Jones from the Fugitive.
U.S. Marshals, I think.
Oh, it's the fugitive. He goes, I want you to check every
Okay.
farmhouse, hen house, doghouse, penthouse, and outhouse in the area. He can't go far.
I was going to guess Charlie Brown.
It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man. I don't care. That's the best line. Just Tommy Lee Jones. I don't care.
Did everybody use outhouse, or was it just like, did they have two, one for women, one for men?
I think it was just a one fits all, probably.
One hole.
Rick?
Boy, I feel sorry for some of them women.
All are welcome.
Yeah.
All are welcome at church, and all are welcome at this one outhouse.
Oh,
Hey,
Be the last
anybody,
one.
our weekly Taylor Sheridan show thing. Has anybody seen the Madison?
Mm-mm.
And watch
Not
that.
yet.
There was an outhouse involved there, and a random joke that happened as well. It was a really good show. It was different. Don't expect Yellowstone. Don't expect 1923, but it was
So,
good.
Snuff film? Don't expect a snuff
Yeah,
film.
it doesn't seem
You're
like it's a
separating by
snuff
gender
film.
here.
The Preds just gave up a goal. Ugh, gross.
News
Yeah.
at 11.
And the sky is blue.
Mhm.
The Preds kind of
Georgia is losing to Arkansas,
Mm.
and I think Florida is whooping up on East Georgia.
Oh, there you go. You mean West Georgia?
Yeah, well, it would be East Georgia because it's West Georgia. That's right.
West Georgia. It's in Alabama.
Yeah, I
Alabama.
don't
No,
know
it's-
why.
no,
I don't
it's in
know
Georgia.
why I have trouble with that.
East Georgia, like if you made fun of a team for being East Georgia, that would be South Carolina.
Yep. That's why I was like, wait, game. No, that doesn't sound right. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Actually, that
Columbia's
would
far
probably
enough
be
away.
like the Citadel.
That's fair.
Corey,
The
at least
Gamecocks
one
got their
team.
first SEC conference sweep since 2023 last weekend.
Yeah,
Nice.
but it was against Missouri, so it doesn't count.
Still counts. Still counts.
If you played in a high school field, it doesn't count.
For you, not Mike, it does count. Got to give you something.
Okay. Thank you.
Boss
Yeah.
man,
South Carolina's going to be pretty good at football this year. So
Yeah, they are. They're going to be a
you
sleeper
know,
team.
Yeah, you're going to have to just wait about 4 months.
they're lucky they don't have to play Vanderbilt. It's good.
They have Mississippi State in baseball this weekend, who was on a heater but has been struggling lately.
They're on the opposite of a heater.
Yeah, 2 straight. They got swept at home.
Yeah.
Do you have to go to Starkville, Corey?
I think so.
Is Vandy at Starkville?
I think so. Hold on. Let me look that up. I can't remember on that one. I
Are
can't.
you talking about for football next fall, Steve, or what?
Yes. Yeah.
It is in Starkville. Yeah, in Starkville.
Okay.
First weekend in November.
There it goes.
I know there's no such thing as run rule in college football. I get that, but I'm kind of rooting for Vandy to run rule Mississippi State in that game. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, you got 2 straight road games, and with a bye week in between. Got that gauntlet of Kentucky bye week and Mississippi State.
Oh my goodness, that's called the bottom 2 rivalry.
Yeah, right there.
Really?
And before
you
that,
end the
Arkansas.
Well, I think you got Kentucky. It's like Arkansas, Kentucky by Mississippi State. I'm looking at the schedule. Right?
Yeah.
I printed out the FBS schedules, came out with their helmet schedule yesterday.
But we crank it up in SEC play with Auburn, Georgia, and Ole Miss.
Yeah,
So there's 3
early.
wins right there.
Yeah.
That's called 1 and 2
Bama,
because
Florida,
everybody
Tennessee's
knows.
not an easy ending 3 either.
Especially when you put 50 on Tennessee the year before.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're gonna do it again.
They got Alabama, LSU, Oklahoma, Texas, and Vandy all in a stretch. That's rough for Mississippi State.
Everything.
There's going to be one team. I don't know who it's going to be, but there's going to be one team this year, and it's going to be in October. It's probably, I don't know their schedule, but it's probably going to be in October or September. That's going to be an SEC team, that is going to screw around and let State stay in it to where Kamario Taylor can use his legs.
Let's see if we can predict
It could be at LSU.
Yeah, because that's their fight. If he can use their legs, that's problematic. If you get a couple scores up to where you have to throw the ball, it's going to be a problem.
I don't think it's Oklahoma. I think Venables will game plan for him pretty well.
Yeah.
So it's got to be. It's not going to be.
Look out, Mizzou.
It's going to be Texas.
Mizzou at home. Mizzou at home in September 26th.
Mizzou's not a team that messes around usually, though. Like, you don't see them lose to teams they shouldn't lose to usually.
You're right, but
Yeah.
if it's going to be any of those teams that I'm looking at, I'm picking them or LSU. LSU's a good pick because they can't stop the running quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, the next time they stop a running quarterback will be the first time. Like Marcel Reed's going to tell his grandkids about the games he played against LSU.
I saw some rando guy was like, he did a ranking of SEC D coordinators, and I think he had Blake Baker 2 or 3, and I'm like, has he not seen him go against a running QB?
Oh my God.
I don't think he's decent, but that's pretty high praise if we're putting him 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Is he top 5?
He was 3 because they had Schumann at 2 and him at 3. Yeah,
wait, Schumann?
Schumann didn't have his best year either last year.
Yeah.
Who was number 1?
Who was
Kirby.
There's D coordinators. Yeah.
He kind of is.
Kane Womack?
No.
It was probably Durkin.
Had to be Jay Bateman.
It actually might have been Venables. Like, they might have just had him.
Yeah, they're
that's guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at defensive coordinators. I mean, Ole Miss is definitely Pete Golding.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma's obviously Venables.
Yeah.
Georgia
Venables actually is. They don't even, they just have.
Georgia should be obviously Kirby Smart, but it's not. But it really is, but it's not, if you catch my drift.
by the way, if Georgia can't figure out a pass rush next year, they're going to be in trouble.
That is true.
Yes, they will be. Because they were in trouble last year when they couldn't figure out a pass rush. Games they lost. Couldn't get the quarterback. The games they won, they had to out-maneuver and out-duel and pull some Lucky Charms out of their butts.
They played pretty well against Alabama last year with the pass rush, but that was about it. If I'm remembering right, I mean, they were on
the second time around. The first time around, Ty Simpson had all day back there.
The first time around, and didn't Alabama run the ball a little bit?
Yeah, they did. In the second half, they ran the ball. A good bit.
Not a lot.
Maybe I'm forgetting then. But the SEC championship was
SEC championship. Georgia just said they're pissed off. And
they pinned their ears back. Yeah.
They were pissed.
Like Georgia was a choked fourth quarter by Trinidad Chambliss the first time from being in the Gator Bowl last year.
Yeah.
I mean, Ole Miss scored over 30 points both times they played them, and it could have been more than that.
I think Tennessee lost on a missed field goal, so.
And they might not have beat Florida if Lagway didn't get hurt either.
Yeah,
In that game.
That is good. Not
they could not get after the quarterback, not even a little bit.
Yeah.
No, it was odd. It was real odd to see. They just couldn't do it. So,
I'm blanking. Were they 11-1 in the regular season or 10-2? I can't think of a second loss they had.
I think it was 11-1 because the second loss would have been that Ole Miss game. I think
that was only their second one. Okay.
Yeah,
and they were gifted that play against Auburn too. I mean, they could have been down that game as well.
They should have lost 4.
Yeah.
They were on the hook for 4, and they actually lost one of them.
Now, one thing that's going to be interesting is how are they going to replace Zach Branch?
How do you?
Because that dude was a freaking weapon, man.
Yeah, that guy was he could be their offense from time to time, especially their deep threat.
Their deep threat. Yeah, tell John Leggett that Georgia had a deep threat last year.
Yeah.
I feel like they only threw bubbles to him too. That was about it.
They threw tunnel screens to him a lot. They would have him coming towards the quarterback and then just dip up. I mean, they did that a lot, and there was times where it was like was blown up, and he still got like 20 yards out of it. And you're like, what the hell? How did that?
Yeah, like the secret that Ole Miss had against Georgia is having a running threat as a quarterback and a running back that is really good, and then having absolute jets outside. And if you're going to play soft, they're just going to throw 5-yard hitches, and you do that to you to death. And if you come up, they're going to throw it over the top of you. Either way, you're not going to be able to run down on the run game and the running quarterback. So many weapons that they had. And like I said, that fourth quarter is
I can never get the receiver.
yes. Yeah, Deshaun Stribling.
Yeah, he's good. He was
he's good. He might go in the first round. But I think they're projecting the second, maybe.
Probably. You know what made him really good on those fade routes? He had late hands.
Yeah. And he also just, my goodness, he's a guy that there's not many players at that level that just looks fast. I'm not talking about whether they're speed or not, but it was almost demoralizing watching that guy run against you because he looked like he was faster than everybody on the field.
And he just all of a sudden, it's like he teleported too. It's like it was crazy. And then that, it just like that last play that set up the field goal in the Sugar Bowl. It's like he had him contained, and then just all of a sudden he's 15 yards behind the defense. You're like, what the?
Man, that play right there was the culmination. I think it was 8 or 9 days in a row. And I was talking like, this is what Ole Miss is trying to do offensively. This is the goal. You want to make Georgia have to bring a safety down into the box to where there is a true one-on-one on the outside and then exploit it over the top. But you need to get them out of a two shell. And that last play of the game, Georgia brought the safety down, got out of the two shell, and immediately Trinidad Chambliss found Deshaun Stribling. I was like, don't overthrow him. And then he had it. It was over.
Trinidad didn't even scramble that much. He just kind of like shifted the pocket a little bit and just launched it. I was like,
oh. Man, he is so good.
He is. I mean, it's a shame that Hugh Freeze couldn't get him.
Yeah, seriously, couldn't get him going right because Jackson Arnold is that prepared Georgia for Trinidad Chambliss. Jackson Arnold is basically the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm still in awe of that take. And Steve, I'll be honest with you, I didn't believe you when you said that.
Yeah.
Because I thought there was a little bit of hyperbole there, so I went and watched the clip, and I was like, "No, he's right. He said it."
It's like,
and Drake didn't know what to do with himself. He's like, "What?"
Yeah. Some of the most disrespectful stuff I've ever heard. And I was like, okay.
And then the week of the Sugar Bowl.
Oh my goodness,
that was bad.
Just over the top.
That was bad. That was bad. But so spring, boss man, questions. Y'all are going to be televised. Y'all might be the only one that we can actually watch.
I think you guys are too. I think we're the only two that are streaming. Georgia, not Mandy. Georgia. Georgia and A&M. At least I think actually Brooks Austin tweeted this out, the film guy.
Yeah.
That A&M and Georgia were the only two that are going to have them streamed. So, I mean, obviously, just a quick rundown of the questions would be Marcel Reed, got to make a step, right? Like, played very well at times last year in the Heisman conversation all the way until late in the year. And then you run into a buzzsaw and you go, you lose to Texas, play pretty poorly, especially in the second half. Decision-making has to improve. A&M missed a big wide receiver last year. They had good wide receivers who played very well. Casey Concepcion is looking like he might go in the first round.
As you should.
Yeah. So, but not much size. So we brought in Isaiah Horton, which complete surprise to me that he left Alabama. But
do you think Casey Concepcion's size will take him out of the first round? Or do you think he's fast enough to?
I think he's fast enough. We'll see. But if I had to bet, I bet he's a second rounder.
Yeah.
Really, to me, the big question mark is going to be how do you replace Cassius Howell? Who replaces Cassius Howell on the defensive line? And then on the offensive line, we talked, Hammer and I did a ton about this, you guys as well. The offensive line last year for Texas lost 4 out of 5, and that was our big question mark going into the year for them. Is like, all right, they got all this hype, all this talent, blah, blah, blah. but 4 out of 5 on the offensive line is going to be tough to replace. A&M has the same issue this year. They're replacing 4 out of 5 on the offensive line. They brought in a lot of big transfers, Cohen Eccles, 2, I think, from LSU, 1 from South Carolina, Formby from Alabama. So there's some talent there. It has to mesh, and we'll see if it does. So to me, that's really the big question mark is the offensive line outside of Marcel Reed. Does he take that step?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to kind of see how all those pieces are put together, because A&M is probably one of the most intriguing deals because you have a lot of talent, but you have 2 brand new coordinators, which they kept it in house. They kept it in house with defense, right?
No, they went to JMU.
They went to JMU for defense, they kept it in house for offense.
Right.
So that's going to be interesting, but we'll see it all. We'll see it all in play on Saturday. Jake, Keelan Russell, it's got to be the guy, right?
After his performance last Saturday at A-Day, it's you got to say that he's got to be number 1 at this point. I guess that'd be one of the questions. Another offensive question is who's going to be the 3rd wide receiver now that Noah Rogers got hurt. Don't know his status. There's a lower body injury, so I don't think they really said much about that yet. But if he's going to be out long term, we need a 3rd guy to go behind Ryan Coleman Williams now and Brooks from last year who stepped up on the scene. We got a lot of good guys. Derek Meadows is a big wide receiver. And the offensive line has got to, we got to find some continuity there because we got 4 or 5 starters we're replacing as well. And then on the defensive side, it's off-ball linebacker. We lost 3 of them guys, Jefferson, Nakai Greenhill, and Deontay Lawson. So not a lot of guys played last year because those 3 guys were so good. So there's a lot of talent there. Just got to have some experience. And Luke Metz has come on this spring, looked really good. QB Reese is a really high IQ guy, so he can see the field a little bit. But Duke Johnson's had a really good spring. Adore Sanders come on late in the spring. So there's a lot of guys there to play and can fit. Just got to find the right guys to put out there on Saturday when the games start.
Yeah,
Tim Keenan's a tough guy to replace because they were a different D when he was in those early on when he was out last year. They weren't very good up front on defense. They turned very salty when he was playing. So he'll be a tough guy to replace.
But we replaced him with Terrence Green, so hopefully that will kind of ease the pain a little bit of that. But it is hard to replace Tim Keenan for sure.
Yeah.
Jake.
Run game. But our thing with that, mine and Stacey's thing with that is you're still trying to find an identity on the offensive line, and you're still trying to find who's the best fit at running back. And EJ Corwell did not play this spring because he's injured. He'll be ready for fall, but I mean he is a highly talented freshman that a lot of people's talking about. So I guarantee once fall comes, he's going to be out there on the field. You're probably going to see him play a lot on Saturday. So I'm not too concerned about the running attack. You see that this offense or this offensive team, the offensive coaches have made a commitment at running the football. They went and got the best blocking tight end in the portal in Josh Ford from Oklahoma State. You brought in a new offensive line coach. You brought in 4 new offensive linemen. So it's all there. It's just got to be put on the field comes, on Saturdays and just get out there and just man up and hit somebody.
That's that. I couldn't have said it better myself. Just man up, hit somebody. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jeb, what do you think of the quarterback battle with Faison Brandon and George McIntyre? Like I'm hearing George McIntyre is just kind of like vanilla, and Faison Brandon obviously is the dude with the high ceiling and high upside.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they're doing a pretty good job of keeping that close to the vest. So we're not getting a whole lot of details other than I think a lot of us thought George McIntyre was going to be the guy going into the spring practice and these games. And when now coming out of it, I don't know, Faison's looked really good, but still a freshman. I mean, he's obviously still a freshman, but he's a freshman that you could tell is going to be very good. And then George McIntyre hasn't separated himself, which I guess has got to be kind of worrisome, at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still just a redshirt freshman himself, but we were kind of hoping he would take over, because I mean he's got the clear path to the starting job if he just plays well, and it hadn't really come out that way. So I don't know.
Now the question is this, and dealing with Tennessee's quarterback battle, dealing with Alabama's quarterback battle, dealing with Florida's quarterback battle, Vandy's quarterback battle. I'm probably leaving somebody out, but those are the main four that I can think of right now.
Florida.
I said
He
Florida.
said Florida.
Okay.
Auburn. No, I'm just kidding.
They always have a quarterback battle.
South Carolina,
LSU.
LSU. Yep.
LSU.
They got
Okay.
a new guy.
So the question is this. When both of your guys don't have starting experience, but one's been in the program longer than the other, like Austin Mack versus Keelan Russell. Like Austin Mack's been with Ryan Grubb and DeBoer, and he's old. He's been in the system a little bit longer. With McIntyre, same thing. With Blaze Berlowitz, same thing. With it's kind of weird with Florida because Tramell Jones has been with the team, but hasn't been with Buster. But Aaron Philo has been with Buster.
That is an interesting situation.
It's an interesting situation, but then you have one of them that has the experience, and then you have the other that's the high upside, high ceiling, extreme, more talented guy. Faison Brandon is more talented than George McIntyre. Tramell Jones is more talented than Aaron Philo. Keelan Russell is more talented than Austin Mack, and so on and so forth. So do you go with that, like
Jared Curtis, obviously?
And Jared Curtis is miles ahead of Blaze Berlowitz in talent.
Yeah.
And that's not a shot at Blaze Berlowitz. Like it's the real deal. I saw it.
Yeah.
So do you start? Neither of them has starting experience, so you're going to have probably the same mistakes. Do you start the higher ceiling guy right away? Just throw it all out the window and just say, "Let's go. We're going to live and die with this guy. This guy's going to give us more later." Or do you just let him sit for some reason and let the more experienced guy go first?
I think higher floor is the first tiebreaker, because Keelan Russell, I'm not saying that he's doing this, but if he gets out there and he's a turnover machine and he's actually hurting your team, that's not good for the kid. There's no way he's going to hit the ceiling at that point, and he's not good enough for the team at that moment. So I think if the floors are relatively similar, that's the point where you talk about the ceiling. So the number two would be the higher ceiling. But I think higher floor is the first judge in a situation like this. You don't want to put a quarterback out there to where you stunt their development because they're turnover machines and they're Jamie Howard, essentially, for the old timers that remember that, throwing 3 pick sixes in one game. You don't want that situation.
Well, let me say this: in Alabama's situation, we have a unique situation, not because we're bringing in a new quarterback, but everybody's saying this is Kalen DeBoer's make or break year. He's got to get the quarterback right, because if he don't, and they have, I mean, at this point, I'm saying a 9-3 season, a lot of fans are going to turn on him. So he's got to get this right. So I think he may take a chance with Keelan Russell just because he feels like he's the ceiling is higher for him, and he's going to be the guy who's going to put the future in better terms, and the team and the future better terms than what Austin Mack will.
Well, and some of that it kind of depends on how the coach is and how he reacts to situations. But I could see in what you're saying, that situation actually favoring what Steve is saying now.
Mm-hmm.
If this is a make or break season for him, wouldn't you want the guy with the higher floor? Because putting somebody in who is a boomer bust, if he busts, you're gone.
But if neither of them have starting experience, how do you know where the floor is?
And that's the problem. I think that's why Coach Heupel always goes, or tends to historically go with whoever has more experience, not because he thinks they're better, but because he just doesn't know about the freshmen yet, and he likes to let them sit and learn more about them before
he doesn't know about either.
I think that's the reason they did 3 scrimmages this spring.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's true. I think in this situation, whether it being a redshirt freshman and a freshman, there's not enough of a difference for him to say, well, this guy's obviously got the experience.
And they'll carry that into training camp for sure. But
it'll be a while.
By the way, I will say I think Keelan Russell's going to win the job, and I think Austin Mack next year is going to be the quarterback at like Fresno State or something like that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised either to see both of those quarterback battles go into week 2, where we're seeing a couple series for both or what have you. I mean, so Alabama plays East Carolina out of the gate, then you got Kentucky in week 2. And then for Tennessee, it's Furman and Georgia Tech. So I think in week 2, those are not, easy games necessarily.
You want your starter established by week 2.
Yeah.
Right. Hypo also doesn't like the 2 quarterback system at all.
No, I
want to pick one of them, but
I think the decision gets made like week 2 is we're done. Like
whoever plays week 2 is probably it. Yeah.
But we might both be getting reps going into through week 1, and then it's okay, you whoever gets the nod in game 2 against Kentucky or for Tennessee, Georgia Tech, it's all right, show us what you got. And if somebody takes the reins, then they take it. Otherwise, you got a chance to put in the other one, see how they take it in game 2 before we move on.
And for Vandy, luckily they get Austin Peay to start and then Delaware. So that's a nice little ramp up there.
Yeah. And it's worth remembering this when it comes to Tennessee. Let me take you back to early September 1994. Tennessee lost 2 quarterbacks in that game. That was with Todd Helton and Jerry Colquitt went down. Brandon Stewart took snaps before Peyton Manning going into that game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brandon
didn't want to play the true freshman.
First as a true freshman over Peyton Manning. So it's not exactly a guaranteed deal.
No goats.
By that year, I saw Peyton Manning throw an out route on a freaking rope at Mississippi State in like his first or second start. And it was like, okay, that guy's going to be fine.
Yeah. But you also got to remember, Heupel didn't have the perfect track record of picking who to start because we saw Joe Milton playing before Hendon Hooker would end. So.
Yeah.
Oh, don't do that. Don't set me up.
Steve.
Who's Joe Milton? I don't remember.
He can throw an orange 100 yards.
Yeah.
They love that talent. And
if you need a pass throw 40 yards, Joe Milton can throw it 40 yards. Need a pass throw 10 yards, Joe Milton can throw it 40 yards.
Yeah.
See, he's that poster child for not getting caught up in talent and seeing how they actually do on the field because Joe Milton had all kinds of talent.
Bossman, you said it best because the last show that me and Stacey recorded, that is what we both said. We feel like the QB situation could go into week 2, and I said I would like to see it be established before at least the Florida State game for sure, but especially before we play Georgia, because if you're going in that 4th game and still don't know who your quarterback is, that's not good. If you're playing a 2 quarterback system against Georgia, that's not going to end well for Alabama.
Look, that's because both of them are terrible. Yeah. Like you have no good option.
Isn't Bama South Carolina week 4, Jake?
Yeah. Week 4. So okay, so we definitely need week 4.
I think Gamecocks go to
that be.
Yeah, no, it's in Tuscaloosa.
Oh,
yeah.
Because that was I could see sandstorm happening that night.
Georgia for Alabama this year, 2nd week in October.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bama's got a rough 3-game stretch from mid-October to latest. Georgia, Tennessee, obviously always third Saturday in October, and then A&M.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be back in Knoxville. We've been trading those back and forth the last few years. I don't think this year.
Vandy have the same bye.
You may get us this year.
Georgia starts with Tennessee State. That's a fun one.
Oh,
look at this murderers row. Tennessee State, Western Kentucky at Arkansas. That's the first 3 games for Georgia.
Yeah.
Soft.
Then they get Oklahoma, Vandy, and Alabama.
Georgia's going to speed through that early part of the schedule.
They're really going to put the pedal down to the floor.
Yeah.
WKU's at least a fun team to play, though, because relative to the G6, they're always good. They win 9 games every year, and
that's true.
They're going to throw the ball around. They're going to lose both of their coordinators to a bigger school every year. Their quarterback transfers. They're going to get another guy to portal in.
From like
all over again.
Actually, they got Florida State's backup, Brock Glenn, for this year.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
They're one that I would just, I mean, I think Georgia's going to be fine, but they're one that I wouldn't love to schedule just because of the, their offense, and you're not going to see that offense, for most of the rest of your schedule. So to game plan for that, like you worry about getting got,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or even it just being a close game, like way too late into the third quarter, start of the fourth quarter, they're only down by 10 or a touchdown, or, and you're like, what are we doing?
Georgia, Florida, is that in Jacksonville this year? Or are they doing the different location?
It's in Atlanta.
Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, it's in Atlanta, and then the next year it's in Tampa.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a Halloween night, by the way. Florida, Georgia.
They just started
By the way,
stations on Jacksonville Stadium. The Jaguars are playing in Orlando.
What? I didn't know that.
okay.
They're
Yeah,
playing in
anyway.
Orlando, the Orlando Jaguars.
Yeah.
That
Still not
was-
going to go watch them.
Yeah, it's right down the road. You might,
gonna be-
but I mean, the Bucks are just the same different distance the other
Yeah.
direction. I mean,
What
Well,
county
that's-
is Orlando?
Orange.
Oh, yeah.
There's not a
Duval,
good
isn't
chant
it?
there. There's not a good chant for Orange County.
Yeah.
There's no
Boston, I didn't
Duval.
realize you guys play Arizona State this year.
Duval.
They changed the name of the stadium, but it was originally called the Citrus Bowl. I mean, come on.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Last time we played them, that was I think the last time we played Arizona State was Kyle Allen and Christian Kirk, and Christian Kirk returned like 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, and we kicked the snot out of them in the opening game. I thought we were going to be great. We did. We pulled a Texas 8-4.
Aw.
Arizona State, there's been exactly one Arizona State team that I've rooted for, and that was
Jake Plummer?
Jake Palmer. Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
Jake the Snake. Yeah.
Those were the coolest uniforms. They were so simple, but the Sun Devil was cool.
The Sparky stuff,
Yeah,
the Sparky ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The yellow helmets like that. Like no one had those colors, and you were just like, "Oh, that's cool." I mean, I didn't know about Wyoming, but
Pretty
Wyoming
fun
has
this year.
colors.
Yeah.
I like
two of
that
the top.
they play.
Go for
I
it,
like
Steve.
that they play for the Territorial Cup because they started playing against each other before they were a state.
Yeah.
That's cool to me.
That is cool.
The other one out there, Nevada wasn't state till the 1900s. Nevada's blue and UNLV's red because of feuds that went back to the Civil War and people that moved there.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah,
The
that's fun.
reason UNLV is the Running
Yeah.
Rebels.
Yeah.
It actually goes back to
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
But I was to say, Arizona State's going to be fun this year because 2 of the top 5 portal receivers are going there, and then Cutter Boley, I actually think is a decent QB.
I think he's going to be
Hold on.
low-key the best quarterback in the Big 12.
Ooh.
I would surprise me. He showed flashes last year, no doubt. I was a little surprised that Will Stein didn't,
Now, if Colorado's team gets in the weight room,
Yeah,
maybe they can do something.
Well,
also-
Texas Tech's in the Big 12. As long as Texas Tech's in the
yeah.
Big 12.
Sorsby's really good.
Yeah.
Mestamaker was a stud too at North Texas, and he followed Morris to Oklahoma State, like that whole roster did. They're the Big 12 Auburn this year.
Okay.
Got a G6 roster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though I like some of their guys in the Big 12 more than I do Auburn's guys in the SEC.
You know what's fun though? I like that Vandy's playing Delaware. That's just a fun matchup for whatever reason. Because it's like the fighting Joe Flacco's.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it also looks like Dollar General, Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan looks like Dollar General Delaware. Delaware's the first state, so
That's a good
they get
point.
first claim at that.
That's a good point.
They're the first state.
Oh, look, we're in
And
Delaware.
also, Steve, I can
I'm
confirm.
in Delaware.
Arizona is-
Wayne's World, yes.
What's that?
I can confirm that Arizona is a state.
Arizona is a
Now,
Paul is not a state. Kent is
Yeah.
not a state.
Nope.
Kennesaw's
Not
not
a
a state.
Kennesaw
Not
is
a state.
Delta's not a state.
Nope.
there's Furman.
Confusion on Boss Man's face right now.
Yeah.
McNeese, not a state.
Not a state.
Tarleton, not a state.
That's true.
Ball, not a state. Yeah.
Ball, definitely not a state. Wright, not a state either.
Fresno.
Fresno
Not a
is
state.
Not a state.
San Jose.
Not a
Not a
state.
state.
Not a state.
Not a state.
Did y'all see the Colorado
No.
social media team and the
Some people will try to tell you this is fake.
yeah, the response. I thought the response video was hilarious.
I'll have to go see that. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
For y'all watching, if you haven't seen it, go over to Colorado Footballs. I think it was on their Instagram.
At first glance, I didn't realize it was Colorado. I was just like, oh, that's kind of funny. And then I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's Colorado. It's even funny.
It's like it's the real account. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, they leaned into it. Good.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I guess they were getting clowned because they were all walking onto the field and all these people started commenting like, y'all are small.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So good.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, haters will say it's fake.
So that's why you cracked that joke, Corey. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
Tying that together. I got you.
There you go. Here's a question right here from Rick and Bonnie.
That's way too big brain for me.
If the United Kingdom was a U.S. state, where would it rank in per capita income?
What the hell is the kilometer?
Wait, is that in pounds or dollars, Rick?
Yeah.
51, Rick. 51. It'd be outside.
Yeah.
The
Right
Mississippi,
now it ranks
the
51.
Mississippi clowning on the UK memes that are on Twitter right now
Oh,
is
yeah.
some of the funny. It's like
Oh,
Jim Henson, Elvis, and Morgan Freeman, like in royalty suit, like dressed up as regal. Oh, it's fantastic.
Is Jim Henson from Mississippi?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So is Oprah.
51.
Oppo.
There.
Oppo.
Yeah, she's a former Colorado Whippet. Or Kosciuszko Whippet.
Kosciuszko.
You must. Got jamming out to Devo there for a second.
Evo, yeah.
All right. I don't know what you're fixing to go to, Corey, but before we get off here, I got to know what Tony V's about because I saw you say.
Oh, yeah, a little bench clearing kerfuffle.
Yeah, I didn't see this.
In Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the yelling at umpires again. Umpires yelling at him, really. They're throwing.
Yeah.
They're doing a little gooning, Jake, and Cincinnati didn't like it, and so they got into a little. They got into a little where they got into a little gathering where they just expressed their feelings to each other. You know,
That's kind of like what we do every Thursday night.
Right. Yeah.
90s.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, we had them under control to the scene. I don't know what their problem is.
it's major leagues. I can't.
I think it's kinda, we'll see what how the experiment goes. It's obviously very early. They gave him a 3-year contract, I believe.
Yeah.
But it could be one of those things where, I mean, we've seen this with many coaches. Like, I mean, Nick Saban's one of them too. I think he probably would have succeeded if he got Drew Brees. Whole different story. But there are just a lot of coaches that are, their temperament, demeanor, the way they coach is way better suited for college than it is for the pros. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's Tony Vitello.
He'll lose the team by July, if not sooner.
And then next season he'll be coaching Alabama.
No, I don't know about that.
No, it'd
North
be
Carolina.
Arkansas. He's the next
Yeah.
coach in Arkansas. He's the next coach in Arkansas.
But when you ask him, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not going to admit it, but he's the next coach at Arkansas. He is.
Hey, speaking of managers, how about old Walt Weiss like making the tackle the other night in the Braves bench scrum brawl?
So there's a clip of I saw it on YouTube Shorts. There's a clip of like Chipper Jones they're talking about Greg Maddux and hitting Jose Canseco.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But it was like they're like, yeah, Walt Weiss is like, yeah, hit him, and he was like, yeah, Walt's like an MMA guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, hit him. I got you.
Yep.
We see why.
He threw the hat
And
down
it was Jorge Soler, right? It was like,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like a
wasn't a
notable
small
former
guy.
Brave that did that.
Yeah.
Yes.
A legend in Braves history for hitting the game-winning home run against
That still
the
hasn't
World
landed
Series
yet.
home run.
That ball still hasn't landed yet.
Yeah, it still hasn't.
which, by the way, if y'all have the MLB app or whatever, you see the Greg Maddux documentary. That is well worth your time. That is an amazing documentary.
Greg Maddox was like, "Yeah, they asked me if I was worried about them stealing my signs," and I was like, "No, because like I'm going to tell you what I'm going to throw. I'm going to throw an 8-9 mile an hour, and you're not going to hit it."
Yeah. He only knows how to paint corners.
When he first got to Atlanta, he was telling the story, and he was with that legendary pitching coach. I forgot his name.
Leo Mazzoni.
Leo Mazzoni, yeah. And he was sitting there going through the workout, and Greg Maddox intentionally had a bad day to where it just didn't look right, and he just completely intentionally screwed up the first practice to see if Leo Mazzoni would tell him that he screwed up. Because that was important. Yeah. They drew the figure 8s of where his balls crossed the plate, and it's amazing. Like he literally, it wasn't on the black, it was literally on the front corner or the back corner of the plate, curved. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was Eddie Perez. He's like, he could throw it this way, he could throw it that way, this way, he could throw it that way. It's like Jesus. There's one pitch, and he talked about playing. He goes, yeah, they nowadays if it's a grounder, they're going to throw the ball out. But it used to be like they hit a sharp grounder to shortstop, you're going to get a nice little scuff on the ball. He goes, what I do is I grip opposite of the scuff, and I put pressure on the seam opposite, and I throw it, and that thing has about 20 feet of bite. I mean, it runs from the batter's box all the way to the black on the other side. Wow. It is nasty.
Yeah, he showed a pitch against the Giants that he threw that started out behind a left-handed hitter and went over for a strike. It was on one of those scuffed balls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's he threw that, and it would bust in on a right-handed, right under the hands.
Oh, that story he told about, I think it was him. I can't remember if it was Javi Lopez or who the catcher was, but
Eddie Perez.
That was his catcher. Like every 5th day, it was Eddie Perez.
Yeah. The story about Jeff Bagwell when in the regular season they were up like 8-3 or something. He's like, we're going to win this game. So he threw him literally a meatball.
Yeah.
What this, sir, he's like, he's going to be looking for this. Just served one up. Bagwell hits it into the cheap seats. He's like, I'm going to watch this. Like, we're going to do this later. Remember this. And anyway, they get into the NLCS. I think it was NLCS. Same things, like similar situation, and Braves needed a strikeout, and he struck him out on that pitch. He was like, he was waiting for that, and we threw opposite, and struck him out.
Yep.
They didn't cut. He wasn't the professor for nothing.
Yeah.
And he called his own pitches, by the way.
He's like, catchers, all I need you to do is hit and receive the ball. That's all I need you to do. I'll take care of the rest.
And he did.
He did. He goes, you guys got to catch everybody else. Like, you got to worry, I'll take care of it. And I love the story that Chipper told about him against the Diamondbacks, where he was.
Yeah, it's a good story.
They wanted to intentionally walk him, and he was like, no, give me a chance to get him out.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm going to throw 2 pitches. I'm going to throw a change up away, slider down and in. I'm going to pop him up third base. And Chipper's like, sure enough, slider in. Slider down, popped him up, and I'm sitting under the ball, and I'm like, you got to be shitting me. And then Bobby and Theo were just dying, and they're just like shaking.
Wasn't there some kind of altercation between him and Chipper at one point that Chipper talked about? I forgot what it was. I remember hearing something about it though.
I'm sure there was.
Yeah,
I'm sure they had something going.
But he pretty much told Chipper, you just. Where to go pretty much. I can't remember the story, but I remember hearing it on one that.
Yeah.
How those guys didn't get more World Series, it will always blow my mind.
Bobby Cox.
Yeah. Kent Herbeck can kiss my ass.
No, he was off the base. Yeah.
Did they get Joe Carter? Was that one?
That was
that was the Phillies.
That was the Phillies. Okay.
Well, they did lose to the Blue Jays, but it wasn't the home run Joe Carter was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joe Carter did hit home runs, but it wasn't as dramatic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The John Smoltz throwing a complete game, 1 run, like 3-hitter and losing.
I know. Crazy.
Because Jack Morris went 10.
Jack Morris.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The Twins. That's right.
Lonnie Smith
91
picked off. Yeah. 93, obviously losing the NLCS. 95, you win it. 96, you're up. I think you're up. No, you come back to Atlanta 1-1. You're up in Game 5 to take command of the series, and they come back from 6 runs down. I was at that game actually. They come back from 6 runs down. Jimmy Leyritz. 97, you lose to the Marlins.
Yep.
98.
Geez, yeah, God, they were down. They were up 6-0 and lost 8-6 that game. Jesus.
Yeah. 98.
98 was the Yankees, right?
98 was Padres, Yankees, and 99 was Braves. They got swept, and that was the last of it
until 2021.
Until 2021, yeah.
Yeah. How must this feel if you're an Indians fan?
Oh.
You're the one that just let it. Oh, okay.
They got glavened.
Yeah.
That Indian team won 100 games that year. They were really good.
That roster, that was the one with like Kenny Lofton and Jim Tomey and all those dudes.
Albert Bell, Manny
Ramirez. It's like they had no business. My goodness.
They had the best defensive shortstop in the league, Omar Vizquel.
Yeah.
Carlos Baerga at second, who was a power hitting second baseman.
Billy Ripken, younger brother of Cal, was a utility player on that team.
Sandy Alomar Jr.
Sandy was the catcher.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. How bad must their pitching staff have been?
Their bullpen sucked.
Yeah.
I think that was their weak.
God. You just look at that lineup.
But then the Braves lineup, like they had the 4 aces. You had Javi Lopez behind the plate. You had Crime Dog at first. Marquise Grissom, center.
Recipient of back-to-back national AAU championships.
I don't think that hat has touched his head yet.
God.
That was an MVP once upon a time.
It's one of the most quotable commercials ever of all time.
That became a Sports Center line too, Tommy Mansky.
Yeah, because on ESPN back in the 80s, like wherever Crime Dog was before Atlanta, I think that was Toronto or something like that.
No, I think was it Detroit? It might have been Detroit, maybe.
But it was during that time frame that they were doing the back-to-back AAU national championships.
Tommy Mansky's
was
San Diego. Yeah, San Diego.
And also the Blue Jays. I think he got drafted by the Blue Jays.
He did.
He did.
Good call.
Yeah, Tommy Mansky. And I think Kenny Mayne was the one who referenced that all the time.
Yeah, it was one of those things that was that commercial, like every show that you watched on ESPN. And I mean, it can be Denise Austin doing, jazzercise or whatever she was doing. There would be the Tom Amansky instructional hitting video. He must have had more money than he knew what to do with, or he was getting a deal because he was on literally everything.
I think every kid in America put a trash can at home plate and got to the center field fence and tried to throw it in the trash can. That was the end of the commercial. And he had Fred McGriff. I forget what he said, but the hat still hasn't touched his head yet. Floating. It looked like it was just floating above his head.
Awesome. Hey, by the way, just bring this back. UK would be 51. I was right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good job.
The Oxford Mississippi versus the Oxford Mississippi versus Oxford England is well worth your time. Look it up on social media.
Oh man!
2 minutes, Corey.
2 minutes, Corey.
Oh, 2 minutes. Okay.
That was a fast hour.
Yeah, it was.
That's what Tom Amansky does.
It was a Georgia hour. So like a New York minute. Georgia hour.
Which is 7 seconds.
Yeah. In a New York minute, everything can change. All right, we are SEC After Dark. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for wherever you come from, wherever you joined us from. Thank you. Even if you join us from the UK, trying to be the 51st state, we thank you as well. For Stephen Willis, Locked On Ole Miss, I think he's on the cusp of 20,000. So if you want to go subscribe to Locked On Ole Miss if you aren't already. Go
About
do
400
so.
to go.
About 400 to go. So Jake,
Nice.
make sure you make 400 fake accounts and just go subscribe.
Yeah, sure.
And that's Jake Thomas, your double shot of Alabama After Dark Tide Talk Live. Join Stacy Blackwood on Tide Talk Live to give you all the Bama coverage out there. Boss Man is one half of the Biscuits in the SEC. Hammer is the other. They do a tremendous show. Mike Huseman, they called him in from the bullpen last night. It was a great show. I listened on delay, so I wasn't able to join you guys live, but I did listen and did catch the show. And
Good night, Rick.
Good night. Goog night. Speaking of Mike Huseman, he is off-season After Dark and also a regular contributor on Locked On Vandy. Was on my show this week and a contributor to the Ole Miss Everydayers Club as well. And then you got Jeb Beecham, who it's highway robbery for the listeners that you aren't doing a movie podcast. Just saying. So you got to construct one. You got to go with it. You got to
Summer rental. It has to be the first episode.
Yeah.
I want to know more about. I want to know more about Porky's, Jeb. Come on.
I can tell you about Porky's.
And you're wearing
Weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie's. That's yeah.
Dolph Lundgren, Masters of the Universe.
That was such a fun movie when I was young.
Hey,
I didn't know for years that Frank Langella was Skeletor.
Yeah.
Top Gun 3 greenlit today.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Oh, also, speaking of movies that are greenlit, that are series, Fokker-in-Law
I saw that.
is going to be a thing. Yeah, Fokker-in-Law.
Ariana Grande.
And it was announced today that Spaceballs 2 will not be the search for more money. It's called Spaceballs 2, the new one.
Yeah.
Coming out
Mel
2027.
Brooks will be 100 when it comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He kind of looks it now, but
Yeah.
they'll put makeup on him. He'll be fine.
Yeah, it's all good. Jeb,
He's looked 100 for about 40 years.
Yeah.
Seemingly.
It seemed like Willie Nelson.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
he ages really fast and then just doesn't age after that. Jeb, you know the assignment. Get it done. And I'm Corey Burton, Locked On Vandy. I am 20 away from 1,400. So
Nice.
Congratulations.
All right.
20 away.
Well, my
Actually,
boy's
no,
doing work.
Actually, now I'm 19. I got 381. So that's continuing to grow as well. You can find my written work on Vandy 247. So make sure you check me out there as well. But for all of us here at SEC After Dark, we thank you for joining us. Make sure you tune in next week. We will no doubtedly be off the rails yet again, and that's just what we do. And that's our brand. And if you don't like it, I got 2 words for you. I got 2 words.
We know where that's going.
I was going to say in stream. What are you guys talking about? Until next time. Peace.
Roll Tide.
Gig 'em.
Hotty toddy.
Go Dogs.
Go Vols.
Down.
Spurs up.
In stream.